lead line, reminding you of your personal genius and how you think in order to actualize what you desire.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor always to be able to be here with you and share insights, my own intelligence, heartfelt understandings, experiences, and other people with you. Today, I'm taken by a conversation that a few colleagues and I had recently that led to the topic for today. Here at Lead Live, we're all about big picture as well as the more practical details. The big picture in terms of where we're at, where we can go, what our mindsets are in terms in the growth area, what we can do with our excellence. And our conversation was around layoffs. And so the topic today is how to get ahead of layoffs. And then I'm reminded of one of my brothers, brilliant man, with this adorable wife, also brilliant. And I remember years ago, he called me. He says, essentially, I'm the last hired, so I'm the first laid off with the company. He's an executive at the time, brilliant man, not just because he's my brother, and a good human being, and not just because he's my brother. I honor that he is my brother and that I have so many others who are equally honorable and brilliant in their respective ways. And I'll never forget the call. And after the call, I just was more honored to be a sister. What happened during that call? He said, Tina, as most of my family call me by my middle name, I'm being laid off, and so I need your help. He says, I'm okay. I've done well. I've set aside some funds. At this month, if I've not secured a role, I'm going to need your help. So I need your help for X number of months. Can you do that? And with such a sense of grounded pride, I said, absolutely. To be able to help a loved one, even if he didn't need that support, which he ultimately did not. The fact that I would be on the receiving end, such an honor to be able to help someone, especially a loved one, who was just recently laid off. And I only imagine the emotions he was going through, especially considering who he is. Walks with pride, not cockiness. Absolutely a man's man. Cares about his family. Oh, absolutely adores and deeply in love with his wife and protector of his wife. He's a man's man. And what do I mean by that? He understands his responsibility to show up and show out, even when he's exhausted and doesn't want to. And that's what he did for his business. They expected him to do things regionally because of his executive status, and he did. And he outperformed expectations because he could. And at the core, it made him so brilliant and ensures that his brilliance is shared, is his predisposition to partner, to be collaborative, to be in partnership with others. So I open that, I share with that. I should say I open with that and share with that. Because when we say how to get ahead of layoffs, we're talking about anticipating in a way that's not fear driven, fear, whether you call it false expectations appearing real. It's more the other kind of fear, want to call it fear, faith. E for energy, enthusiasm, effort. A for accountability. R, responsibility. So we say lead with knowing your worth. You're much more than a job. or a member of a company for whom or with whom you're working, possess a growth mindset, intellectual and emotional growth mindset. Come back to that in a second. Be the chief executive officer of your life is what we're really saying continuously here. Lead you, lead yourself in all spaces you inhabit or you choose to be in. Participate in a way that anticipates your move. Play chess with your life, not checkers. Checkers, you have no clue what's going to happen, or you think it's just going to be one step at a time. No, anticipate. In fact, this brother of mine I just mentioned, he plays chess. Actually, I think most of my brothers play chess. That's probably part of their predisposition to anticipate and ensure that they're grounded. Also encourage you to produce and continue to learn and grow. I'm going to stop there for a moment as I'm thinking about another brother who has been at one company that has changed its names many times, and he's been with different teams and groups over more than a 35-year period. In all those groups, he's the only one still at that organization. And what can you say? Well, he's Black, he's male. It's other ethnic groups too. Isn't he the first one to be laid off, like your other brother? No. And there's idiosyncratic reasons why groups of employees, classifications, sometimes rational reasons, hopefully most of the time, but we know not rational reasons, why certain groups and individuals are laid off because of business decisions and the inability to pay for those roles. And there are other decisions. We know, not just stakeholders, ideally stakeholders, but primarily the others who are requiring this particular organization or those organizations to bring in revenue. But I'm steering off the path. So this other brother literally has been with this organization, I don't even know the number of years. It's maybe approaching 40 years. And he's the only one that's been the mainstay. And throughout his experience, grown. He wasn't trying to be the mainstay. He was trying to understand the nature of his role and deliver in ways that made him feel like he was actually contributing in profound ways. That's his wiring. Yes, he's got fears like the next person. He's got hopes like the next person. What drives him first and foremost is knowing that he's making a contribution to that organization. He'd create, apps and give it to the organization. Whereas others would say, well, you could sell that on the open market and make a lot of money. Now, many of us, they criticize him in that regard. The powerful thing was that he wasn't focused on his own outcomes. One could say he should do a balance. He was focused on how can I be of value and make a difference and make this work for more customers? How can I make it work for more of the people with whom I work? How can I? And it was always about anticipating. He's an engineer by training. And so it's not surprising that he was a major technician for years. And then that unfolded into something else. And unfolded into something else. And then literally he was creating more of what he's experiencing now. We're always creating what we're going to experience in the next moment. That's the power of us. And so when I think about that particular brother, I think about how he's used this anticipation of what's needed and making moves in anticipation of particular or series of outcomes. He ensured he was not laid off. That doesn't mean that other people didn't ensure. He was playing chess. He could see certain things. While even I, his sister, years ago, when he was being encouraged to go into top management because of his capacity, his demonstrated successes. And he was like, This is where I want to stay right now because I know I have staying power and I can make a profound difference. And I'm like, brother, you're brilliant. Share that with more people. It's like, no, that's useless. You do you, I do me. And to his credit, he did him. So what happened to those colleagues of his who were laid off over the years? Many, many, many at this major organization. Many of them got better opportunities. They didn't even know were waiting for them. They were positioned to do that. And then some of them literally went into completely different careers. Brilliant people too, and found their voices, found how they could use their expertise. The key thing that those I know have in common, they had a growth mindset. Their intellectual mind was set on making decisions that served their greatest or their best well-being. Their emotional mindset was constantly growing. Yes, they had fears. They were in stress. But more importantly, they had faith, a belief. They empowered themselves. They chose to be connected to their emotions more freely, more deeply. Some of them leveraged therapists, counselors, coaches, and others who could hear them. I'm thinking about the first brother I referenced. He leveraged his mentors who were constantly guiding him. And he only chose mentors or allowed them to choose him. So they have to say, I want to mentor you. Those individuals who were already successful had done what he wanted to do with integrity and other comparable values, but also experiences that he may not ever want. Yet they could use those experiences to help inform his own intellectual and emotional intelligence. So being the chief executive of your life is really the core. It's saying, I'm responsible. Yeah, these things are going to happen and they've happened to me. Yet I have put myself in that location to experience it. And there must be something I can gain or benefit from it. That's playing chess, folks, where you're looking at all the parts and the moves are happening because someone else is moving independent of you or because of you. You're an influencer. And you're saying, okay, given all the circumstances, what's the best move for me? You can only know what the best move may be in relationship to. So we want you to anticipate those moves, but you need to know where it is you want to go to begin with. So part of positioning yourself, an anticipation of the hundreds of thousands and some years millions of layoffs, is to say what it is that you want. Declare it to yourself. Write it down and ensure that you are on the path to that. And that layoff actually may prompt you, push you forward to where you're headed anyway. Or you may be left behind to help address whatever the organization needs, but recognize that you still have a path and you're now ready to go on that path, whether it's within that organization or whether it's building your own organization for that matter. And we say, look at the system of the organization you're currently in. Ask yourself, does it really serve me? And if it does, ask yourself, what's the best role for me to be in next so that I can contribute in a way that allows me to be the best in service of this organization because it serves me. Thus, I want to contribute in a profound way. There's no guarantees in terms of the organization, yet there are always guarantees with us. When we decide, that's a guarantee that we give to ourselves. When we produce, continue to learn and grow from all of our experience, that's the gift that we give to ourselves. That's for the guarantees we give to ourselves. So no, we can't expect others to give us 100% assurance of anything. We can begin to expect ourselves. Yes, we can put it in writing. There's a contract. We can sue. We can get money or we can get whatever results from that. And it may not be adequate. And those of us who've gone through different processes where someone promised something, and probably all of us have to some degree, and then they don't deliver. But sometimes they don't deliver because they can't deliver. And it's because they don't have the legal wherewithal, or even the political wherewithal, or the intellectual wherewithal. They may not have the emotional wherewithal. They may be so harmed that they want you to experience harm so they don't deliver. We never know. And sometimes I say to people when they say, well, why? I said, if I knew why, I probably would be them. And I don't really want to be them. So I don't know why. So you want to ask yourself, it's important to know the why. What's important is to be able to produce, to continue to learn, continue to grow. Why? Because knowing where we're going, learning about how to get there efficiently, and growing in the process of taking action and moving in that direction, and that growing means self-assessment. What's working, what's not working, what do I need to improve? It's a weakness of mine now, or who do I need to leverage? Because I don't need to work on that weakness. I just need to leverage someone with the expertise, and I can go ahead with my strengths. That's part of that whole growth process. Always know what's going on. Listen first, always, to understand first. Some of us are so predisposed to talk. Believe it or not, I'm naturally an introvert. That's why I spend a lot of time alone, because I'm in silence. And I love silence. I enjoy being with people. In fact, I adore being in the company of people. I get to watch them laugh and dance and sing and engage in just free-flowing ways. Oh, it's so edifying. And yet, in those spaces, for the most part, I'm listening. So I want to understand. And when I understand the other, I can actually serve better. And I'm not just serving others, I'm actually serving myself even better. So knowing what is going on, listening first to understand first, demonstrating value for the environment that you're in. In both instances I gave, they happen to be personal. I know them well. Two of my brothers. I could say that about other brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, folks I know, I care about deeply, friends, colleagues, acquaintances. The key thing is when we show up and in our own way show out, and we can do it behind the scenes silently, like many folks I know, we do that on a consistent basis, we're moving closer to our destination. And so layoffs are not in and of themselves good, bad. They're definitely not indifferent. Always. They are how we interpret them. Some of us are looking for a layoff. I know, I've heard some of your voices. And many are harmed by it because your identity was so caught up in that role, in being in that institution. Understood? In fact, a lot of folks die, retire. It's just within 5 years they're no longer here. It's amazing. So much of their life was so intertwined with the work they did. So I understand, not in a way that I fully get another person's experience, yet I do know the power, and many of you know the power, of resetting your mindset, the intellectual mind, the emotional mind, rewiring the connections in your brain to decide what you deserve, what you want, create a plan, connect with the coaches, the mentors, folks with the expertise, with a proven track record, with comparable values, but at least with integrity. Leverage them to help you move forward. Maintain at least 12 months of emergency funds in a growth-generating and accessible index account. You want more information, contact me. No big deal. Okay? We want you to develop a game plan for your continuous progress. So, one of my brothers survived many business changes, cycles, and layoffs over at least 35 years. Technical engineer. He keeps it simple. His mentality is get it done, There's always challenges. Let's grow, let's give, let's collaborate, let's produce, let's share, let's hear. Now he's focused more on enabling himself to welcome promotions. Now, promotions are external. The promotions begin with self, promoting himself in a healthy way, recognizing that he deserves time. He deserves to be honored. And the other brother who was laid off, he thrives now because he is experiencing his dream. He's had dream jobs. As an executive, he's been focused, partner, engaged in partnership, leveraging mentors, active use of coaches, welcome harsh, constructive feedback. He gives it too. To grow and thrive, he has a burning desire for something and reminds us all to do the same thing in order to pursue with conviction something that is bigger than self. It actually aids others. Wow. Think about the people who are literally just knocking things out the park. They're not just serving themselves. Yeah, of course, they get benefits. One could argue they should. And I need to argue that. When they're actually adding value where people can use whatever it is, an idea, product, service, concept, feeling, emotion. Key thing is to be vigilant about your own vision. If you don't have a vision, please make the time to give yourself the gift of a vision for your life. That's something where you already see yourself. You've imagined yourself being of extraordinary value in your household, in your neighborhood, in society, across the globe, beyond the globe. Healthy families, vibrant communities, rewarding relationships, time and location freedoms. That's what many of us want to experience. I think at the core, though, it's peaceful existence, consistency. So take time to honor you 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or more throughout a day. Rejuvenate yourself, stretch. Even if it's just a minute, meditate. Can you imagine being active in a meeting and you're meditating about that meeting? It's possible. I used to do it with joy. Stress could be, or distressful circumstances could be going on. People are like, you seem to have a peaceful way about you. Not always did I. But I tend to demonstrate it. It's maybe my wiring. And they said, when do you meditate? I said, I'm doing that now. Just reminding everyone, you can be who you want to be now, not 20 years from now when you retire. So walk and smile. Oh my goodness, laugh. Just because you can. Especially if you got a crazy laugh like me. Share it. Even if it's just with yourself, laugh. Consume clean, mineralized, alkaline water. Give yourself gift of clean food. And I don't mean you've got to eliminate stuff that brings you a little bit of joy and excitement in a moment, but overwhelm yourself with the stuff that when you eat it and you drink it consistently, actually gives you a level of excitement and fulfillment and rejuvenation that you've never experienced before. And get the natural vitamin D from the sun, fresh oxygen. So many of us were harmed during the pandemic, not just because of COVID-19 pandemic and the fact that so many of our loved ones were in pain, in hospital, we couldn't be there with them. And unfortunately, too many died. Get out, get sun, get fresh oxygen. We deprive ourselves of that. And we absolutely require it, especially we're in a space or a state where we're feeling lack. We lost our jobs, or we're fearful of losing our jobs. Perform acts of kindness to yourself frequently and give yourself the gift of doing it for others. I love it. I do it weekly. And some weeks I'm doing it every day of the week just because I can, where it's for another. Sometimes they know, Oftentimes, they don't even know it's me. I love it. I get so much from it. I hope the other person on the receiving end gets a lot. And yes, it is selfish. It rejuvenates me. And because it's about what the person asked for, ideally, it rejuvenates them too. Receive heartfelt honorings. Too often people are like, oh, you want to honor me? Oh, no. I don't deserve it. Other people, give it to somebody else. Take it. It's the universe saying, we value you. Even if you don't understand why you're being given an honor, receive it. As someone who used to push it away most of my life, taken me to where I am in my 65th year, and now appreciating being honored, shame on me. I didn't know, and many of us don't know. Receive the honoring. That's part of validating you and helping ground you in a healthier reality. There are many realities. We can choose a healthier reality. I'm not talking about letting your ego take over. There's a place for that. For me, it's usually in the shower or it's in my clothes room. No one gets to see it. I get to act stupid, crazy, funny, exciting. Build your foundation by achieving, taking action in the direction desired, learning, failing forward, and succeeding. Focus, follow one course until successful. Leverage a system, save yourself time, energy, and money. Leverage coaches, mentors, key networks. Guard against isolating you because of pain, stress, and fears. In fact, as you experience more pain, distress, and fears, to get yourself out. Even if you're quietly, in your own way, nicely dressed, comfortable, you're in the background. Witness the excitement. Witness the joy. Go to a live event, some extraordinary jazz that soothing, some beautiful voice, melodic, some grand performance, transformative, some walk in the park, grounding, some playing with animals, connecting, some listening to understand, illuminating. Yes, we create our realities and we do influence one another. We can take a stance to be our brothers and our sisters' advocates in different ways. And I'm led to think about the fact that so many systems don't serve a lot of folks in these United States and outside. We built the system, not necessarily you and I. And we reinforce the system because we're part of the system and we participate in the system. In the same way, we get to allow our levels of education to increase, understand the nature of the system, and ask ourselves how to take what we've been socialized to reinforce that doesn't serve everybody, that keeps too many people unhoused, and that's this ridiculous thing that's happening on this planet. The level of unhoused people. I'm ashamed. And no matter what I'm doing in the background, I'm still ashamed. The level of unhoused fellow humans. We deserve to give all of us the level of dignity. So as you anticipate, you do some of the things that we recommend. We encourage you to also assess the effectiveness of the systems that we have. They're in need of repair. Aspects or need to be eliminated, and then others completely redesigned. We get to do that. That's our power. We get to do it. We're all benefiting in some way, and we all get to support each other to ensure that others benefit in some way. Yes, we all have our own paths, and people have a right to chart and choose their path. We have a right, and I believe, humbly speaking, not about being dogmatic, to choose to ensure that we function with dignity in relation to and in support of. So know your worth, possess a growth mindset, be the chief executive of your life, develop a plan for continuous progress, health and well-being of all you care about. Ideally, you care about you, your family, and the greater society of humans. Have a burning desire for something that you can pursue with conviction that adds value, contributes to the great good. Be diligent about that vision that you've established for your life. Take time to honor you, whether it's 5, again, 10, or 15 minutes or more throughout a day. Your dreams, your feelings, your inherent worth. Yeah, you deserve to do that and more. Build on your existing foundation. Make it more solid. It allows you to take on more, to be more to yourself and loved ones, to add more. Leverage a system, coaches, mentors, and key networks. Live your faith belief to manifest your vision. Those key pieces, it's not an exhaustive list. It's just what I know works. It's worked for so many people I know, and I live by those. They keep me vertical, and even when I'm horizontal, they allow me to rest deeply and quickly. Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. We all deserve that. Diverse faiths, diverse families, different ways of getting to the financial freedom, different levels of financial assets to ensure that each one of us is free, has time and location freedom. Fitness. All bodies are not the same, and yet all bodies benefit from internal nourishment and external nourishment. And have fun. It's a major part of it. So yes, there was extraordinary amount of layoffs in 2020, over 41 million people. And even last year, believe it or not, the numbers have come in at over 15 million. Too many folks have been laid off. In fact, over 50% of Americans have been laid off one time or another in their career. And too many fear that. Well, we're saying arrest that fear that doesn't serve you. If it's a fear that moves you forward, leverage it. Know that independent of layoff, you not only can survive, you can thrive. And as layoffs are happening around you, know that you can still add value, including those little ones or those people you respect who were laid off. Be in community, partner, recognize your value, and it's so much easier to not only recognize others, but honors others' value. Thank you, so many of you, for being the solution. So many of you for being the solution. So many of you for being the solution. Gratitude. Wow.